Last month it was reported that the chaos-driven faction Retribution would be Raw exclusive, because nothing says anarchy like only appearing on one brand. And since their debut, they've not featured on any pay-per-views either. A run that was extended to Sunday's Clash of Champions, and Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet has revealed why. He writes all 5 members of Retribution are being held in quarantine for 2 weeks after last week's reported COVID-19 outbreak at the Performance Center, where WWE is still filming NXT. But this affected the Thunderdome too, because a lot of the NXT wrestlers are being used as filler members for Retribution. It's almost like there should be some kind of bubble isolation system in place to protect the various rosters. If only every single piece of safety advice ever recommended that. Thankfully, Satin adds that all of Retribution's main 5 members have tested negative for COVID itself, but have reportedly come into contact with someone who has tested positive. They are now being isolated for 2 weeks as a precautionary measure. That didn't stop WWE advertising Retribution for last night's Raw though, where they only got a video package and a light flickering spot in a Hurt Business match. We likely won't see them again until Raw's draft episode on the 12th. Retribution aren't the only ones to be quarantined though. As Dave Meltzer is reporting, Nikki Cross, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler have all been forced into isolation. Meltzer went on to say that at least one of the 3 does not have COVID, but similarly to Retribution, are isolating as a precaution. 2 WWE referees have also been quarantined, with SmackDown referee Jessica Carr filling in on Raw last night. According to WWE's statement on the outbreak, talent will be quarantined for at least 2 weeks and will not be admitted back until they test negatively and show no symptoms of COVID. But someone will have to wait a lot longer than a fortnight to make their WWE debut. Former multi-time TNA World and Tag Team Champion James Storm has revealed in an interview with Ryan Satin that he was supposed to debut in WWE after WrestleMania this year. Unfortunately, a pandemic put an end to those plans, but according to Storm, we agreed on all the terms. It was signed. Storm had previously wrestled a few matches in NXT back in 2015, but re-signed with Impact instead. He said he's still optimistic he'll get to properly join WWE in the future. How would you fantasy book his WWE debut? Let me know in the comments, because I'll be replying to people saying beer, money. Just make sure once you're in the WWE locker room, James Storm, you don't do too much fun-loving. Our new, but also still Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn has revealed WWE have reprimanded him backstage for his attitude and how it can annoy other people. As he told the New Day's podcast, WWE made me aware of some of my own actions. For example, what I might perceive as fun-loving, let's have some fun chat on the bus, might be perceived as annoying. I always only looked through my own lens, but being around these people with all these different points of view starts making you look at yourself through their lens. Speaking of annoying, I had to watch Monday Night Raw this morning. Here's my review in about 5 minutes. The episode opened with the debut of WWE's latest faction, RETRIBUTION, which is made up of B-Shizzle, Not Edge, Heartbreak, and Charlotte's dad. They all came out to introduce the man they helped beat Randy Orton at Cockrush, Drew McIntyre. Randy interrupted Drew's promo to say it's not over until Raw's creative team says it's over, and that Drew doesn't know what hell is truly like, not so subtly planting the seeds for a Hell in a Cell match between them at next month's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, where none of those legends will be able to interfere. Randy then left the building, even taking his bag with him. I'm 100% sure that is the last we'll see of Randy Orton on this episode, whose whole gimmick is about appearing when you least expect him. Drew issued an open challenge for the WWE Championship tonight, and RETRIBUTION started playing poker backstage, where I'm sure they definitely won't be attacked by Randy Orton later on. I saw him leave the building, he had his bag. Contrary to what your mum tells me, sometimes there just is too much cock for one night. So we got a Clash of Champions rematch next between Asuka and Zelina Vega, where they had the same kind of match with the same kind of finish. Asuka further killing Vega's singles push dead by making her tap for the second night in a row. Andrade came out to shout at her for losing, and then he lost to Keith Lee in a few minutes too. The smart thing here would be to put them back together, especially with Angel Garza potentially out injured, but WWE is on a mission to break up every single act in the company right now, and then make inferior combinations from the scraps. Jerry Lawler then interviewed the Mysterio family in the ring, I've got no idea why either, where Aaliyah questioned the life choices of anyone who sides with Seth Rollins, which apparently kind of includes her. Rollins interrupted on the Titantron to reveal Aaliyah and Buddy's DM conversation, which included Buddy's ellipses of seduction. Hey, I just wanted to apologize again. ... I hope you're doing okay. ... Which, as your mum informed me, is online sex speak for and then they shat on a turtle. Aaliyah stormed off, Buddy confronted Seth, and Dominic tackled him to the ground, setting up a rare non-gimmicked match between them later on. And even without kendo sticks or Mysterio family members at ringside, Dominic was still really impressive. The kendo sticks of Mysterio family members weren't far away though, as Aaliyah stopped Dominic from caning Murphy, leading to a roll-up loss for him. I'm really enjoying the soap opera fun, but Seth has been feuding with the Mysterio family for about 4 years now, and it should probably end soon. Nataliana took on Raw's newest stars, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, because Raw is blonde. Mandy won, and this all rather undermines the draft next week. The CFO Money entrance theme royalty scandal has taken another victim. Aleister Black's awesome music has now been replaced. That aside, he had a really good back and forth match with Kevin Owens that got a decent amount of time, and a really exciting sequence of near falls near the end. Unfortunately, Raw doesn't know how to finish matches at the moment. They had Black cost himself the DQ loss when he accidentally elbowed Drake Younger in the gut, and KO stunned him after. Black has now lost both his KO matches, and his iconic entrance music has been replaced. But don't worry, Vince McMahon is probably high on him backstage. R-Truth, Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak traded the 24/7 title between themselves in a backstage skit, and then got a three-way in the ring, which was almost more painful because you could see how great all three guys are, yet they're being wasted in rubbish comedy. Truth retained. After the Hurt Business had bullied producers and Ali backstage, MVP cut an in-ring promo saying the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. No, he's not talking about Raw's booking, it's about Apollo and Ricochet still feuding with him. This turned into a really fun six-man tag, complete with Retribution light flicker and the Hurt Business getting their comeuppance, with Ali pinning MVP. Bianca Belair got a really fun vignette showing how much better she is than everyone else by beating a bunch of people in sprints, even when she gave them a head start and had to leap over hurdles. This was really good, although advice for the people she beat, maybe actually go faster than a light jog next time. And the main event saw Drew McIntyre's open challenge be answered by a returning Bobby Roode. It's great to see him back. I love Bobby, even if he has dropped the moustache. Returns after being out for this long are a great way to reset a character, give them a more credible edge rather than just mid-card of evil filler like he was last year. Unfortunately, despite a decent match with Drew, WWE treated Roode exactly the same as before, pairing him with Dolph Ziggler and losing definitively. Mark my words, Bobby and Dolph will be Randy's henchmen come next week. Speaking of, from out of nowhere. After the match, the camera cut backstage to show a janitor walking shiftily around. No, not Cedric Alexander, or a member of Retribution, or one of Tozawa's ninjas. It's Randall Keith Orton. The whole point was that he'd snuck into a restricted area in disguise, where he then went into Old Tribution's poker room, put on some goofy night vision goggles that I'm not even sure were night vision goggles, turned off the lights, and beat B-Shizzle, Not Edge, Heartbreak, and Charlotte's dad up. Orton then put his disguise back on and snuck away from security. It was a smart way to get around Old Tribution not having to bump, and I've seen a lot of people really enjoy the silliness of this angle. Unfortunately, I hated it because it had one of my production pet peeves. Who is filming him here? Why does he have to disguise himself if there is quite clearly a WWE camera crew following him around? Compare this to Batista's return last February, where he dragged a cameraman to film his beatdown of Flair. That was awesome. It was a realistic explanation for why that was being filmed. I found this one with Orton infuriating. That was this week's Raw in about 5 minutes. Let me know what you thought of the show in the comments down below, where I'll be replying to people from out of pretending to leave at the start of the show, but then coming back at the end. I think Raw is stuck in pre-draft purgatory. They can't start any new feuds because they don't know what the rosters will look like in 2 weeks' time, which means we're getting the same matchups we've had for the last 6 months now. Even good stuff like Seth versus the Mysterios is feeling increasingly tired and frustrating, and I thought the Orton stuff was incredibly goofy compared to the excellently complex psychology from his character earlier this year. But at least there was no Raw Underground. This week's Raw is 2 out of 5. Check out Roman Reigns' sexy new look and watch my review of Clash of Champions by clicking the video on the right. And what are the 14 greatest WWE video packages of all time? Click the video below that to watch Adam Blompier's latest list. I've been Mr. Davis. Jam that jam.